Live at 6, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Find out what Syracuse is doing to help.
Plus, a SU alumni artist makes a return back to campus.
And Central New York experiencing all today with rain this morning, sun this afternoon, and now overcast skies. If that's here to stay, all ahead on News Live at 6, which starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Syracuse is providing multiple opportunities to do just that. Good evening and welcome to News Live at 6. I'm Nicole Aponte.
And I'm Chilekasi. Adele. Yes, they're raising awareness for victims of sexual assault. Take Back the Night taking place yesterday at Shine, and our Caitlin Campbell takes us there.
Take Back the Night is a national and annual event to honor Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Here at SU, it fosters community amongst students.
Usually occurs sometime in April in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and it's an opportunity for survivors to take back the night. So enter into spaces that maybe have been previously sort of prohibited by their experiences of violence, and really reclaim ownership, support each other, and develop a sense of community. Part of healing from that is also being in community with other folks who have experienced it and knowing that the spaces that you're in, that people have your back.
Students had the ability to take part in denim day crafts, enjoy food, and write words of affirmation for peers.
Now, a study from 2022 found that 10% of Syracuse University students had experienced sexual assault. Now, that's lower than the average for college-age students, with about 19% for women and 5 to 6% for men. There's always room for improvement.
These events are really important for survivors to feel like they have a voice and a place to express what they might have gone through and what they've experienced. I think Syracuse does a good job, but there's always progress to be made when it comes to survivorship and supporting survivors in general. And I think Syracuse can ultimately uplift student survivors in ways that make them feel empowered to come forward and report. I think there are ways that we can continue as a community to help survivors feel comfortable and safe on campus and build environments around campus, in campus, that make students feel like they can access resources and access support.
Students can check out the event calendar for more opportunities or the Title IX office and Barnes for support on sexual assault. Caitlin Campbell, Citrus TV News.
Caitlin, thank you. The Lemoyne College student accused of rape, Jarrell Walker, created a courtroom confrontation this week when he questioned the validity of his alleged victim's story. The 36-year-old is accused of raping a Lemoyne student inside her campus apartment back in 2022. In her testimony yesterday, the victim described her experience, and then, with the judge's permission, Walker defended himself, questioning the woman and her account. The jury will wait to hear from witnesses and see DNA evidence. However, Walker told the jury they shouldn't be distracted by DNA. He claims it could be manipulated.
Let's come back to campus now. If you ever wanted to make your own spices tonight, well, it's your chance. In less than an hour at 7 p.m., Orange After Dark is hosting a spicy salsa at La Casita event. You can learn to salsa, bust a move, and you can also create your own spices at La Casita Cultural Center. All supplies will be there. Authentic Spanish food will also be served. To attend, you have to RSVP on the CUSE Activities website.
Maybe you can salsa on over to Setner. The SU Wind Ensemble in concert. Band are performing live tonight at Krause College. The concert will go from 8 to 9 tonight in the Setner Auditorium and will feature guest conductor Michael Kaufman. The concert will be live streamed by River Bend Media. Hey, let's take a look at our first check of the weather. Oh my goodness, it seems like we keep on getting drilled and drilled and drilled every day, every night with all this rain. A little bit of a break in the clouds this afternoon today.
Oh yeah, I walked out of my apartment, I had my rollers in my hair, and the warm wind blew my rollers out of my hair.
Well, it feels a little sticky too, right? There's like a humidity in the air.
But our Luke Welch, he's joining us right outside on the Citrus TV weather deck. Luke, I hope you're enjoying some sun still. Hopefully it's still out there.
Nicole, Chile, unfortunately that sun seemed to go away. I know it was peaking out in the late afternoon and I was enjoying it when I was walking to class, but you're right, Nicole, that warm wind is blowing all over. The wind gusts sitting around 20 miles per hour. If we take a look into our weather right now, we've been sitting at roughly at 65 degrees all day, and as I said, that wind is making it a little bit cooler. The sun's been peaking every now and then, but I think it's gone for today. If we take a look, it's pretty consistent throughout our region. We have highs in Rochester and Fulton sitting just around 68, 67 degrees, and a low down in Cortland at 61. If we take a look later in tonight, we're only going to drop a few degrees temperature-wise whatsoever. Those winds are going to stay around, and you know what's coming back? That rain, unfortunately. And that rain's going to stick around until tomorrow and even throughout the weekend, which isn't the best news. I'll have more on that rain that's coming later in the show. Nicole, Chile, I'll send it back to you in studio.
Luke, thanks so much. We'll see you back in studio. An SU alum and artist was back on the Hill yesterday. Cami Bremer was at the meet and greet he had and joins us now in studio. Cami, tell us about Warren Kimball.
Yeah, Chile, so it's not a huge name, but it's folk artist Warren Kimball who came back to Syracuse yesterday for a meet and greet and discussion held in Byrd. Kimball is a graduate of the class of '57 and was not only a student studying art here at Syracuse, but was also a part of the design team for one of Syracuse's past mascot costumes, the Saltine Warrior. I got the chance to attend the meet and greet. Let's take a closer look.
Byrd Library held a discussion and meet and greet with SU alum and folk artist Warren Kimball. Kimball's art has made an impact around the globe, with his paintings still sought after by collectors. Although he graduated back with the class of '57, he hasn't let his age stop him from pursuing what he loves, art. I got the chance to interview with him and learn some valuable advice. Let's take a closer look.
Do art, but have another job. Be a waitress, be a teacher, be something, so that you can really be free to do your art on your own and experiment and have fun with it, because then you'll make it to my age. You'll be happy, you have a life, you have family, children, or not, but just have a good life.
Very inspiring to see someone of Kimball's age to be so well-spirited and continuing his passion for art. Nicole and Chile, back to you.
Cami, thanks so much. Well, the eclipse is now over, so you might be wondering what to do with your eclipse glasses. The city of Syracuse is accepting solar glasses for donation to Astronomers Without Borders. The group plans to donate those gently used glasses to people in need around the world.
Glasses can be dropped off at these locations before the end of April, as you see there on your screen. City Hall, Bob Cecil Community Center, Kirk Park, Burnett Park Arts and Craft Center, Magdarelli Community Center, Schiller Wilson Park, and Westmoreland Park.
Syracuse's Inner Harbor is set to become a little bit more colorful this summer. City as Canvas, a public arts program, will paint 5 10-foot panels that will show some Syracuse pride. The program is currently looking for artists to paint the murals. Requirements to be considered to actually paint them include residency in the city of Syracuse and documentation of financial hardships from COVID.
Families of those buried at St. Patrick's Cemetery in Oneida are angry after finding the belongings of loved ones in a large pile. According to Cemetery Association President Jim Cron, at least 40 graves had items taken from them after a notice was sent out that at the beginning of the month, caretakers will remove artificial things from all graves in the cemetery. Statues, artificial flowers, and bird feeders or houses are among those items that will be removed.
And coming up on Live at 6, a Democratic candidate for Congress weighs in on the national abortion fight. But what are his views on the subject? Find out right after the break.
Women are bad with money.
That's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now, we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us. To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80% more.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Chilekasi Adele, Nicole Aponte, and Luke Welch. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. State Senator John Mannion spoke to Politico about the abortion access fight nationwide. He's running for Congress as a Democrat here in Syracuse. Our political reporter, Luke Radel, is following this race for us and joins me now. Luke, what did Mannion have to say about Donald Trump?
Nicole, John Mannion suggested that the former president is lying about his stance on reproductive rights after he posted a video message on Truth Social clarifying his position on the issue earlier this week. Trump says that he supports leaving abortion rights to the states, but John Mannion isn't buying it. He told Politico in an article published this morning that, quote, the voters who are talking to me and the people in the congressional district I'm running in are not fooled by the messaging that's come from the former president. But Mannion has had some abortion inconsistency of his own. In 2018, he told the Auburn Citizen, quote, abortion is a decision that should always be left to a woman, and we should do everything we can to make sure we continue to keep politicians out of doctors' offices, bedrooms, and homes. Those words on abortion earned Mannion the endorsement of Planned Parenthood 3 times. 5 years later, though, in an interview with Citrus TV News last July, Mannion had a much different take on the subject. His comments even seemed to echo the words of the former president. Roll the tape.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people.
We have to listen to the people of the area that we represent. Here in New York, we're doing that.
But the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month.
You know, that there is going to be abortion on demand and abortion up until the moment of birth. Those situations are very rare. No one wants that.
The concept of having an abortion in the later months is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that.
You don't believe there should be any restrictions on abortion?
Oh, of course there should be. There are restrictions on abortion. We already have those in place, right? So we have timelines in place.
Now, despite the shocking similarity between Mannion's comments and those of Donald Trump, he tweeted just this morning hitting Trump again and vowing that he will, quote, always fight for safe abortion access for all. But as I've said from this very spot before, just because you write something in all caps doesn't make it true. No, John Mannion has not always left a decision to women, and he has not kept politicians out of doctors' offices. He supports government restrictions on abortion after 24 weeks and has voted for them in the state legislature. There's no distortion here. The record speaks for itself. And the major commonality between Mannion and Trump is that they both have had confusing changes of position on this important issue. Look, no matter what your views are on abortion, you should want your representative to be honest and direct with you. Now, if the senator wants to answer these questions and more, the invitation still stands for the senator to attend our Citrus TV congressional debate in 2 weeks on April 25th. Chile?
Okay, Luke Radel, thank you so much. Now to the latest. O.J. Simpson, one of the most infamous men in American history, has died at the age of 76. His family said on his X account today, in part, on April 10th, that's yesterday, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer, as you're seeing there on your screen. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren.
Simpson is a former NFL running back. He spent 9 seasons with the Buffalo Bills. After his playing career, Simpson was accused of murdering his ex-wife and her friend. That led to the well-known high-speed chase in that Ford Bronco. Simpson was eventually acquitted of charges. He was convicted, though, of armed robbery back in 2007 after taking memorabilia at gunpoint from dealers he claimed were his.
The Biden administration is close to closing a loophole that would lead to more background checks for firearms. The loophole allows unlicensed dealers to sell guns without performing background checks. The finalized rule says those who sell firearms must be federally licensed and perform background checks regardless of how they are being sold. It is the latest in a string of efforts the administration has made to crack down on gun violence.
Staying in Washington, the Biden administration also investing $830 million towards protecting infrastructure from extreme climate change. The grants go towards 80 projects in 37 states, Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Virgin Islands. A majority of funding will go towards over 30 projects that are set to improve existing infrastructure, such as draining, moving roadways, and lifting bridges. Nearly $120 million more will go towards strengthening or removing at-risk coastal infrastructure. Ippei Mizuhara, that's MLB players Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, is facing federal charges after being accused of stealing $16 million.
Yep, it's a story everybody's been talking about over the past few weeks. A federal prosecutor says Mizuhara transferred that much money, $16 million, out of Ohtani's bank account to pay for sports gambling debts. The prosecutor alleges Mizuhara helped Ohtani set up a bank account for his salary, later lying to the bank to access the account. Mizuhara is expected to appear in the U.S. District Court in Los Angeles. He could face up to 30 years in federal prison if convicted. To Idaho now, to Iowa. 18-year-old Alexander Mercurio is facing 20 years in prison after allegedly planning an ISIS-inspired attack on churches. An FBI affidavit accuses Mercurio of discussing traveling from the U.S. to join ISIS, also accusing him of considering and planning ways to support the terrorist group financially.
Mercurio told one informant his plan to attack his father, steal his rifles, and attack a nearby church. He will remain in the custody of U.S. Marshals until his trial date on May 28th. To Luke now.
And that rain sticking around through the weekend, but how much exactly are we getting? SU's most accurate weather forecast after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Review Crew.
On today's episode, we're going to review Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Here's a trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Let's talk about this movie now.
Let's talk about it. I liked it a lot.
I love Kick-Ass.
There are parts of me that want to just go through frame by frame and see every single multiverse when they'd have those flashes.
Yeah, the big flashes. Me too.
Talented, funny, handsome. Tim,
come on.
You got it all, buddy. You're like my own person.
Look who's talking. Come on.
See you next week.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
All right, everyone's 6:18 now. Luke Welch joining us at the desk for our weather forecast. You know, they say April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's been showering.
Yeah, it really has. And you know what? I'm not too excited about it, but hey, we can't complain because the temperatures have been honestly amazing this week. You know, there's nothing to complain about.
Oh, I know. It's dress weather for me. I love my dress weather here on campus. One more month of it before we graduate. But look, is this weather going to take it easy a little bit?
You know what? I wish I could say, but I think we just got to get through this weekend and then we can see some nice temperatures. If we take a look on your screen, I have the radar for this weekend and how much rain exactly we're going to be getting. So let's take a look up there right now and see.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
I'm scared too.
It is a little bit scary.
I'm scared.
We can get it up there yet.
There it is.
Oh.
That rain is coming.
Oh, no.
You know what? We might even see some flurries based on how cold it's going to be Saturday.
Are you kidding?
At this movement right here, that snow, that blue is snow right there. So that rain's going to come up. But let's take a look at your 5-day forecast and see exactly how long this rain is going to really stick around. So we see Friday and Saturday, we got that rain, even a wintry mix there on Saturday with the highs of 40 and 46. But let's take a look on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We see the sun's going to come back to us and those temperatures as well. It's going to be up in the 60s, maybe even low 70s if we get lucky enough. So that's all I have for you right now. Nicole, Chile, back to you.
Luke, thanks so much. The popular lunch and snack pack Lunchables are found to have high levels of lead and sodium. The test was done by Consumer Reports, and according to a post on their website, the product had potentially concerning heavy metal and phthalate levels.
Consumer Reports also claims the levels of sodium in the product too high for kids. In a statement to Consumer Reports, Kraft Heinz says their products, quote, meet strict safety standards. Over to Skyler Wilkes and what's coming up next in sports.
Nicole, thanks so much. Basketball season may be over, but that doesn't mean the action stops. The transfer portal is as busy as ever, and Syracuse hopes to capitalize. Plus, SU men's lacrosse hits the road with the ACC tournament in arm's reach. We have you covered all the way from the Salt City to Chapel Hill, and you won't want to miss it.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
So far, 6 players are set to leave the SU men's basketball program, and actually it's now 7 after Judah Mintz declared for the NBA draft just a few minutes ago. However, the Orange have the chance to snag more talent from the transfer portal. Welcome into sports. I'm Skyler Wilkes. With the college hoop season officially in the rearview mirror, the Cuse is already on a mission to snap its tournament skid. It started last week when center Eddie Lampkin from Colorado decided to come to the 3-1-5. Now, Delaware's Jair Davis is scheduled to visit the Hill this weekend. The forward averaged just over 17 points per game this season and earned a spot on the All-CAA second team. Meanwhile, Dakota LeFew from Mount St. Mary's put Syracuse amongst his final 6 choices. The guard is riding high off a dominant campaign where he tallied almost 18 points per contest and landed on the All-MAC first team. It's also important to remember that LeFew's college coach, Dan Engelstad, was just hired to be an assistant here at SU. Regardless, both players have very impressive resumes. Davis had a busy year where he finished top 10 in the CAA in scoring, rebounding, field goal, and free throw percentage. LeFew, on the other hand, was nothing to scoff at either. In the MAC, the senior was 3rd in scoring, 5th in assists, and 10th in three-point percentage. The 2 bucket getters could certainly help the Orange improve their offense, which was 6th in the ACC in points per game. But now moving from the hardwood to the turf, 7th-ranked Syracuse men's lacrosse travels to play North Carolina in its penultimate game of the regular season. Both sides have met every year for the last decade, so there's a lot of familiarity. But with former Cuse defensive coordinator Dave Petramala working for UNC now, the matchup is closer than ever. To Joey Spallina, though, there's no love lost.
Respect for Coach P. He took me under his wing last year. We talked all the time. He's probably the best defensive player, one of the best coaches of all time.
This game has much deeper significance than the friendly connections, though. The Orange sit in 3rd place in the ACC, and a win would automatically clinch their spot in the conference tournament. Believe it or not, that's something SU hasn't done since 2019. If Syracuse can't get the job done on Saturday, it would have to beat current #2 Virginia next week to get in. And just like college lax, the NBA regular season is coming to a close. The Knicks and Celtics square off in an Eastern Conference heavyweight battle tonight. Both teams have secured playoff spots, but it's seeding that could be the factor. While Boston has already locked up the top seed with the league's best record, New York aims to capture the 3 seed. Tom Thibodeau's group has a half-game lead on the Cavaliers, so these final 3 contests are pretty crucial. And the big name to watch in this one is obviously Knicks guard Jalen Brunson, who's averaging more than 35 points over the last 5 games. The All-Star is 4th in the NBA in scoring at over 28 points per contest. That type of production has helped New York reach back-to-back postseasons for the first time in a decade. And also he stayed healthy, Chile, which is something that your 76ers can't say the same with Joel Embiid always on the show.
All right. Okay. So the NBA season coming to an end, MLB season just starting, right? Getting a couple weeks in. The Mets with a 16-4 rout over the Braves today. It does kill me to say that, yes. But, you know, I don't think we expected much from that Met team to begin this season. What's gone right so far, and could they be letting on a little bit less than we thought?
Well, it's crazy. They started 0-5, but we're starting almost 2 decades, and the offense has just suddenly picked up and scoring runs against a very good Braves pitching staff. And who knows what could happen in that NL East, which is really competitive. You know, the Marlins just beat the Yankees, and you know, the Phillies have a lot of talent, Chile. I'll give it to you.
I don't know if we could put the Marlins into that conversation.
No, of course not. But I think, you know, it's always going to be competitive with the Phillies and the Mets at the top of the division.
Especially with Strider out with the Braves, too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, let's come back to the Hill now. I know the Orange going to the Tar Heel State. Who do you think will win that game?
It's going to be tough. I'm leaning towards Syracuse just because they're a better team. And, you know, I know the Long Island presence on the Syracuse lacrosse team. I know you know it well.
Oh,
so
yes.
They're a really talented group of players. And North Carolina having a really down year, has lost 3 straight. Syracuse hungry off a double overtime loss. So I got to go with the Orange in this one.
Awesome. Well, Skyler, thanks so much.
Thank
We'll
you,
stick
guys.
around. We have one last look at your weather before you head out the door tomorrow.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
And when you wake up tomorrow, you know those temperatures are going to be similar to what they were today, sitting at 64 degrees in the early morning. Then those temperatures are going to drop as the day goes on. But you know what else? Those scattered showers, we're going to see them in the morning, we're going to see them in the afternoon. So just parts of the day where you can get out. But if you're going to go outside, you might want to grab a rain jacket, even some rain boots. I was wearing some today in spite of there being not too much rain, except in the morning. However, again, as I said, those temperatures are going to slowly drop into the weekend where we're going to see some even more rain, some even lower temperatures. So you know what? Grab that jacket if you want to stay safe.
Hopefully that sun comes out next week. Fingers are crossed. Well, let's go to this now. Ryan Gosling, who you might know most recently as Ken in the Barbie movie, was caught by paparazzi in New York City wearing a Baldwinsville sports jacket. Central New York represent.
Right.
Well, many in our area question where he got that coat, but Gosling's stylist, Mark Avery, says he actually purchased it at a flea market in Long Beach, California.
You gotta think sometimes, I feel like some guy is like, yeah, I'm from Baldwinsville, played in high school maybe, going to Long Beach or living there now, and it's like, let me just get rid of this.
It's like a vintage jacket you find at a flea market. Look, I love it.
Yeah, well, that is Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Thursday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Nicole Aponte.
And I'm Chilekasi in LA. Please hug your loved ones tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.